population. And I think we need some creative solutions for that. My family, we live in a community. There's 11 of us that live under one roof, 6 different families, no biological connection between many of us. And yet about, I think it's 8 million people in the UK live on their own. And with a program like the Homes for Ukraine program, many people were able to welcome a refugee into their home. And there are so many benefits to both us as hosts. It's actually bad for our mental health. We have worse health outcomes if we live on our own. So maybe we need to get creative and start being hospitable. That I know the great population.
Okay, wow, what a fascinating thing. I mean, this man oozes compassion and empathy, right? You put him next to Jesus Christ. Jesus looks selfish in comparison to this leftist. I mean, my goodness. Let's talk about a different case that popped up on my feed recently. This is a lady. Her name is Estibalas Cortazar. You can look it up on Google. Apparently, she is a far-left activist, right? Also, incredibly compassionate. I mean, Jesus, the level of compassion she is displaying. She actually did take up this offer. She decided to take an immigrant into her house. And apparently, this is according to her, right? He started sexually harassing her, started insulting her, started beating her, and eventually threw her out. Nah, this is where the Spanish government comes in with their leftist legislation that makes it actually very difficult for the evil, grotesque homeowners to enforce their rights. And so now she has to wait a couple of years, go through various courts, convince the judges that she is right and he is wrong, and all the while she is homeless. Right, now, here's my question. Is this gentleman going to do something? You know, is his compassion extending to people like her? Because I'm telling you, like, she's not the only case. For those of you that actually follow what happens with taking strangers into your house, would know. And again, like, this is not even some esoteric knowledge, right? Like, you don't need to go to university to figure out why taking strangers into your house is beyond mentally retarded. But not only that, like, if you take a person that's from your neighborhood, he's got a social network, he knows people, he has a reputation to maintain. If you take a person that came from a completely different country and especially looks at your people with disgust because you're imbeciles and you're very easy to be taken advantage of, what reputation does he have to maintain? Like, are you going to call his mommy? Are you going to call Ahmed's mommy and say, why did you raise a son like that? Like, can you do that? No, probably not. Okay, if his name appears in the papers, does he give a shit? No, he doesn't give a shit. And so, all of this is predictable. Like, this is not even, oh my goodness, how it happened level. This is like, well, obviously it happened. The question is, like, how many more cases? And so, this is very interesting, right? Like, you get individuals like this that get to be worshipped as being empathetic. They get to create the good PR. It's like, look how kind these individuals are, without actually doing anything. It's like, oh, he's living with like 3 other families under one roof. Who knows what obligations they created towards each other? How long did that happen in order to actually build mutual trust? And if the actual families are genuinely not blood related, or there's like some marriages going on. Like, again, we don't know. But we have to assume that what he is saying is true. Now, there is actually a problem that he is identifying here. Like, he's not completely in the wrong. And many people in the West have noticed that housing prices have exploded. Now, one of the reasons why housing is expensive is, well, you know, if you need to constantly import people, those people need housing. When those people need housing, a house just magically disappears from the market. Like, a house was there yesterday, now it's gone. And so all the other houses become more expensive. But there is something else, right? Because the immigration is really not that bad in order to cause this level of prices. And one of the problems is, if you do think about it, back during your grandma's time, it was very unusual for a person to live alone in their house. This is true. Like, people actually did live with their families. Most people were blood related, right? Unless you had a servant. Like, if you had a servant, fine. But like most people lived with their parents and their grandparents, usually under the same house. And so if you have a house that can house, that is being a home to like 5, 6, or 7 people, then that is like 5, 6, or 7 other houses available on the market. Nowadays, what do we have? Nowadays, we glorify and we worship the divorce. Like the legislation is meant to favor the divorce. The culture is meant to favor the divorce. Everything is for the divorce. And so while you may even say, okay, you know, like maybe 5 or 6 people under the same roof is a little bit extravagant. But what about, you know, just having one family under the same roof? Because then you have mommy, daddy, and 2 kids. Like that's 4 people which are now being housed. But when you have a divorce, what do you get? You get mommy and daddy living separately, right? And now when you do this at a national scale, and you realize that, yeah, okay, like there are a lot of people that live alone, which is what the culture is, well, the pricing for homes, of course, explodes, right? If you want to fix this, you don't fix it by taking immigrants. Because when you create an immigrant, you bring him in, like now there is a need for another house that there wasn't there before, right? What you want is to create marriage. If you create marriage incentives and you justify to people why marrying is important, well, then people live under the same roof. Well, now the housing prices are going to be different. Of course, in order to have more marriage, it's not even about Christianity. It's not that people don't go to church. It's about like people do not understand why they should get married. Like, if you have a contract that basically says up until death does us apart, but in reality, a woman can file a no-fault divorce, like she's not abused, no one is hurting her or anything. However, she just wants to divorce, and then she manages to take away half of the man's shit, and also manages to get him to pay child support, which she doesn't even have to prove that the money is going to the child. Like, she could actually date 3 other guys and use the money from the first guy in order to buy makeup so that she can go to the dates before she's getting fucked. Obviously, like, it incentivizes divorces. Like, it would be unusual if it wouldn't, right? And so, like, if people like him are generally compassionate and want to lower the housing prices, like, that would be one of the first things that you would do, would be to convince people to get married and to stay married. Not just get married, stay married. And it wouldn't be like stay married through like force or coercion or anything like that. No, like just the laws. It should actually desensitize people from getting a divorce. It should be made it a little bit more legally difficult. I'm not saying it shouldn't happen ever, right? Because there are cases of abuse and whatnot. There are cases of cheating and, you know, justifications for divorce. But at the same time, I'm not saying it should be as rewarded and as easy as it is today. Because what it does is, well, when people divorce, they get 2 houses. 2 houses means another house gone from the market. And then when the kid becomes 18, he takes another house. So now a family of 3, which should live under one roof, lives in 3 houses. Do the math for how many people are divorced, and you will find out why you have like such a high housing prices. And then bring a bunch of immigrants there on top of that, and there you fucking go. Anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.